Daniel Sports Central, we go over a college football game preview and prediction on the 2023 68 Ventures Bowl between South Alabama and Eastern Michigan. Two teams that have had good seasons getting to this point. You got two 6-6 teams here. South Alabama won 2 of their last 3, and this is a team that's really been inconsistent down the stretch, but they've found a way to get up to 6 wins, and this is overall a team that I feel like underachieved this season. They're better than their record shows. You look at Eastern Michigan, this team won their last 2 games to get up to 6 wins. But overall, this is a team that is a heavy underdog in this matchup, given the fact that they're missing a lot of their key pieces in this matchup. But with that, we'll be covering a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today. Let's get started with their team trends. South Alabama lost to Texas State 52-44. High-scoring shootout there to finish out the regular season, and this team ended up at 6-6. Once again, I feel like this is a team that's actually pretty talented. But the problem is this team is just very inconsistent. When they've played at their best and they've had their best games, like the first one that comes to mind is that Oklahoma State game. This team went on the road to Stillwater back in September, beat Oklahoma State 33-7. Turns out Oklahoma State was one of the best teams in the Big 12. They played for a Big 12 title this season. So, I mean, when they blew out them, they blew out multiple teams this year. ULM, Southern Miss, shut out Marshall in the second to last week of the regular season. So when this team plays well, and when both sides of the ball click, this is a team that is brutal to beat. Problem is, I mean, this team has also had some pretty bad losses as well. So we've seen everything from South Alabama this season. But as for Eastern Michigan, beat Buffalo 24-11. This team won their last 2 games. And, I mean, 6-6 just feels so different for both these teams. Jaguars are a solid team that maybe underachieved a bit. Eastern Michigan maybe overachieved a bit, you could say, for both sides. Games be on Saturday the 23rd in Mobile. Kickoff at 7 p.m. Eastern. Spread's going South Alabama by 17 here. The Jaguars are a very heavy favorite in this matchup. You typically don't see a spread this significant for a bowl game, but and honestly, I feel like the Jaguars should be a favorite, but 17 points is definitely a lot considering this is a game that honestly shouldn't even be that high scoring. Over under 46.5, FPI is going South Alabama as well, 83%. You look at the bowl history. Jaguars have never won a bowl game. This team was in a game last season in the New Orleans Bowl, lost to Western Kentucky. They also lost in 2016 in the Arizona Bowl. They were in the Camellia Bowl back in 2014 as well. So this team has recently found success looking for their first ever bowl win. Eastern Michigan is 2-4 overall. This team has had some pretty good success in recent time, considering this team was never in a bowl game from 1987 to 2016. But they won last season in the Idaho Potato Bowl, beat San Jose State. Lost in 2021, though, and 2019 in the Lenning Tree Bowl and then the Quick Lane Bowl, respectively. Stat comparison, South Alabama, 37th in points per game. This is, I mean, considering this is a 6-6 football team, they're a strong team statistically. Like, I had to go over these stats once again because I just couldn't believe that this team was top 40, top 30 in so many areas. But this is a balanced team, 37th in points per game, 29th in points allowed, 35th in pass yards a game. So a stronger passing team here when you got Carter Bradley in there, who's had a strong season. And then 68th in rush yards a game. This is a team that's pretty balanced on both sides of the ball overall. So, I mean, you look at, I mean, and it makes sense that when you look further into it, this is a South Alabama team that's lost 6 games, but almost every win they've had, I mean, you look at probably, 5 of their 6 wins that they've had this season were blowouts. This team was dominant in 5 of their 6 wins against halfway decent teams as well. I mean, the losses weren't pretty, that's for sure at times. They had a couple of closer losses, but it's really been all over the place for South Alabama this season. You look at Eastern Michigan, 115th in points per game, 123rd in pass yards a game, 105th in rush yards a game. This is a pretty bad offense here in the Eagles. There's no hiding it. I mean, this is a team that's also without their starting quarterback in Austin Smith. He's in the transfer portal. So for Eastern Michigan offensively, it's going to be rough going for this team, I can imagine, in this matchup, especially going up against a strong Jaguars defense. Even though, I mean, once again, it's so tough to tell in a matchup like this. South Alabama is a team that, I mean, they shut out Marshall 28-0 in the second to last game of the regular season. Then a week later, allowed 52 to Texas State. So you just never know what's going to happen. But Eastern Michigan, 33rd in pass defense. So that's their main strength, is defending the pass. Your recent matchups for South Alabama, once again, you can see those last 2 games. beat Arkansas State 21-14, lost to Troy by 18, lost to Louisiana by 13. So once again, all over the spectrum for the Jaguars. But as for Eastern Michigan, beat Buffalo, beat Akron in double overtime, lost to Toledo 23-49, lost to Western Michigan 21-45. So after those two losses, I don't think it looked pretty good for the Eagles to get to a bowl game, but this team found a way to win their last two games. Your key points: Jaguars 6-6. They are better than the record shows. They are without their top receiver, though, and Colin Lacey, which is something to keep in mind. Lacey had 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns on the season, so being without him will be a challenge for this offense, but I still feel like they'll be okay. And really, once again, when this team clicks on both sides, they're brutal to beat. I mean, this is a team that's blown out a lot of teams this season. They've blown out 5 of their 6 teams they've beaten, so there is reason to believe that if South Alabama wins this matchup, it could definitely be in a blowout. But as for Eastern Michigan, Austin Smith in the transfer portal, this is a team that's already struggled offensively this season, and Austin Smith has been the starter quarterback all year. So considering Austin Smith has started the entire season, he's only thrown for 1,700 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 7 picks. I mean, this is just an offense that is not very good in the Eagles. So it could be rough going for this offense, scoring many points, especially against a South Alabama defense that can really play at a high level. But really, the way to success for Eastern Michigan is keeping the game close. If they keep it close, they can definitely, forcing turnovers will be huge as well. If they can score a defensive touchdown somewhere or on special teams, that could go a long way for Eastern Michigan, being a team that's already a pretty heavy underdog in this matchup. But with that, let's get a prediction here for South Alabama and Eastern Michigan coming up here in the 68 Ventures Bowl. And in the end, I'm going South Alabama, just a matter of how much. I'm going 35-13. Jaguars win this one. So I am predicting a blowout here for South Alabama, but it makes sense when you look at the Jaguars. The spread seems insane, 17 points towards the Jaguars. But once again, this is a team that is 6-6. But 5 of their 6 wins are in blowouts. They really are dominant when they play well on both sides. And I feel like this is one of those games where they're going to show up and they're going to want to win. So I'm taking Jaguars 35-13. And once again, for Eastern Michigan, not even having their starting quarterback, and considering the state of this offense right now, it's going to be tough for the Eagles to score a whole lot of points here. So I'm going Jaguars. I'll say 60% just because it is bowl season, and really, you never know what's going to happen in a bowl game. It's tough to predict, but I'm taking the over on the 46.5 and South Alabama to cover the spread in the end. But with that, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this matchup, your score predictions, all of that. My name's Evan. This is All Sports Central. Stay tuned for more. We'll catch you on the next one.